Hello, good evening and welcome. Anybody there? Nobody registered at the moment. Build it and they shall come. Oh, hello. God damn it. You buy a remote control light and you can never remember where you put the push button remote for it. Aha! Here we go. No, we don't. Greetings, Mick. And how the hell are you? Since 10 minutes since. Yeah, you ain't on your own, buddy. I'm beginning to think this will. There we go. I was beginning to think it were faulty. There we go. Isn't that romantic? Aha! Aha! That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. A bit of romantic mood lighting, Mick. Can't beat it. Hang on. Out of focus. Still out of focus. Better now. Oh no. I don't know. I'll give in. Bloody modern tech. Hey, I'm not a cheap date, Mick. I don't make out on first dates. Probably just as well. What, I've been stood up? Oh, you bitch. Oh, dear. Yeah, weird sort of day. I've been. Well, I had a hardish couple of days at work. Friday was just chaotic. Yesterday were a bit better, but we're still in work, so I've slept the biggest part of today. Flat out. Flat out, worn out, and not need knackered old horse bag, as my mate used to call his missus. He used to call. I don't know how he got up. I don't know how he got away with it, Mick. He used to call his missus a knock need knackered old horse bag. Tell you what though, Mick, I love that Matchbox scammer you've done. It's a good job, that. Anybody watching, if you flick over to Diecast Modelers Community on Facebook, you can see Mick's work. Good evening, Valleys. How you diddling? Good to see you. Yeah, no, I've seen the pictures, Mick. It's a good little build, that. I loved your idea for using the rivets as beacons. Turned out well, that. You'd have probably been, You'd have probably added a bit more to it if you'd have got. Have you got any of the Tamiya clear paints? The orange and the red and the green and blue. The orange would have made them look like it was see-through all out. I bought some, I normally like Vallejo paints. And I got some Vallejo clear orange. And I don't really rate it as much as the Tamiya. You can't, unless you're doing a big area, which Tamiya are no good for, unless you're airbrushing it. Yeah, you can't beat the Tamiya for the clears, for lenses and that. Cracking stuff. Like the Vallejo, I used that and it were crap by comparison, to be honest. I recommend Vallejo for a lot of stuff, but not that. Some of the paints are outstanding. I bought a couple of sets recently, which I'm going to use on my channel at some point. On wagons, I've got the aged wood effect Vallejo set, and I've got the white effect. Like, they're good sets to buy, the Vallejo sets. Mind you, I've seen some recently I've not seen before. Andrea acrylic sets. Like, they're for figures and stuff, but I might give one of them sets a try. In fact, after when I'm done here, I might go into eBay and get an Andrea set of paints. But what I'm thinking of doing a video of is I have a Lomac, or I may buy another Lomac. And I was thinking of doing the wood areas on that. Paint it so it doesn't look like plastic, it actually looks like wood. Some of it's airbrushing, but I'm sure you can get a good wooden, like it's airbrush paint, the wood effect one. But I'm sure you can get a good effect with paintbrush. Sure, it should look good. Yes, what have you been up to today, Valleys? Anything interesting? Or even this weekend? All I've done this weekend is work, sleep, and I got yeah, they do some good paints for Vallejo. You can't whack them for a lot of stuff. Yeah, I got I'll probably do it as a video for my channel, but I've already tinkered with it. I got a old Lima 060 Great Western pannier tank off eBay the other day. It were under a tenner, and it were a non-run. Well, it had run, but you had to press down and make the valley turn, so make the motor turn so it kicked it off, and it had only run in reverse. So I just opened the motor up and wet and dried the commutator, and it looked like it had varnish from something on, like a very thin coat of varnish, and it weren't picking up, so I lightly sanded it, and it runs beautiful now. Lightly sanded the commutator, well, wet and dry. Lightly sanded it and lubed the motor and wet, and it runs gorgeous. Fantastic, Valleys. I've been to a Turkish restaurant, had a beautiful steak there. I don't drink a lot nowadays, Valleys. It's taking me longer and longer to recover, and I get worse hangovers. Geez, if I drunk like I did when I was younger. Yeah, I'd be a semi-professional alcoholic by now. If I drank like I did when I was younger. Because what we used to do, I used to go out, have me normal 10 pints, and then once I were a bit full, I'd go on spirits. So yeah, it weren't really an healthy lifestyle. Like, luckily this year for Christmas, I've got better days off than I got last year. I've got Christmas Day off, then late on late shift Boxing Day, so I can have a drink Christmas Day if I want. And then I'm off New Year's Eve and in late shift New Year's Day. So happy days, both days I can have a drink this year. Although being half Scots, I normally do New Year more than Christmas. Far better. Christmas is for kids, New Year's is for adults. Yeah, oh, sorry, I didn't say as well as Mick has. All many happy returns. May we have many more valleys. Yeah, so gradually I'm building. Yeah, we definitely are kids, mate. Yeah, the last leave I had, valleys, I was just knackered after, because at the moment I had every intention to finish off the last board on my layout, but I have to get some wood to complete it. And it was 15 quid to deliver it, whatever it costs to buy it. I only want one piece, so it's probably counterproductive, although I might go with delivery. They don't cut it down for you, they're like B&Q did. So I'd have to take a saw down. I thought, oh, that sounds like messing about. They look suspect, but took me on bus taking a bloody jigsaw down. All right, Gemini. First time I've seen you. Welcome. Welcome aboard. How old are RB040s? Well, there's a question. Which 040 do you mean, right, Gemini? Which one in particular? They've done a few 040s over years, haven't they? They've done them right back to the Triang days, which the pug version, I'd have a guess, roughly around the early 80s, I'd say perhaps 82, 83, the pug version. I say that because one of the first versions was the Caledonian Railway version, and I've wanted the original correct colour Caledonian Railway pug for a while, and I've wanted a good one, but I've not wanted to spend astronomical amounts on it, you know. And I've got a decent condition mint, well, not mint box, but a decent condition one. And it has a gap in the white banding on top of the tank, and it has its lettering's a bit worn out on the side, so it's an heavy play one. Really, still nice, but heavy play one. But that turned up on eBay the other day, and all the banding's complete, and good works plate, good lettering on side, good condition. So I'm going to put the bar on it like it had. It's got all handrails present, everything's on it. So I thought, that's going on to the chassis, the decent condition box one I have. But it turned up and I thought, I'm having it. Yeah, the 040, the 60s Triangles ones. I'm not sure if they were taken off a real model or just a sort of, what do you call it when they're home designed ones? I may be wrong, but I think they were just an home designed one to fit the motor. But yeah, I'd say the Hornby Pug, the first one they brought out, well, the Naughty, whichever one where you want to term it. I'm saying that was early 80s at a guess. Yeah, because the parentage of Hornby today originally was what were Triang. And Triang bought out, well, complicated way it goes around. Triang acquired Hornby probably for the name, I think. And they didn't want their stuff. Triang were making more modern plastic stuff, and to a degree it was cheaper to manufacture. It was just as good as what Hornby were making. And Wren took on the metal, what were the Hornby ones. That's the name I were thinking of, Valley. Freelance, for God's sake. I've been a freelance photographer at one point. Why didn't I think of that one? Yeah, the Holden Great Western Railway 101. They're a nice little loco. I still fancy the Coleman one of the Great Western 101, the Holden. They did a Coleman one, I fancy that. Nice, terrific ones. Are they the correct Caledonian blue that the original ones were? More modern ones, they've done a blue and it's a bright blue. It's nothing like the Caledonian blue. Yeah, it's nearly heading towards electric blue. You're like, Jesus, that's a violent colour. Yeah, the Caledonian, from what I'm led to believe, was more of a powdery blue. Although then, having said that, all the Caledonian 422s, that colour, the Caledonian singles, they're sort of in between the two. So I've got 4 of them. To eventually make it on the channel. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct, Valleys. I have that argument as a photographer on a lot of things where they say, oh, we can match colours spot on and everything from photographs. Bullshit. Bullshit. We couldn't even match colours in the photography lab half of the time. Because a lot depends on the reason being when you take a photograph outside, depending on what time of day it is, the colour temperature changes anyway. It starts at about 1800 kelvins, colour temperature, and it goes up to midday, which is, I think it's something stupid like 36,000 kelvins or something stupid. So bullshit you can colour match from photographs. It all depends who process. There's too many variables. Even different film stock, they couldn't agree on a colour. The only way you'd ever match a colour with any certainty is if somebody put a dot of that colour on a card and stored it out of light since new. That's the only nearly surefire way. When they tell you on model forums they're matching them from photographs, they're bullshitters. Don't get me wrong, you'll get near as damn it. Like they say though, a lot of them go, oh, I start with this tinned brand and it's near enough as a starting point. But another paint manufacturer will have a different idea of that colour. Like slightly differs. Where who's right? Because I'll tell you something, even during World War II, at the start of Battle of Britain, it was just written instructions because they couldn't send out colour matches to people. They just said mix so much of this colour with so much of that colour, and that'd be open to interpretation. It says 2 litres, but we've only got 1.5 litres left. Sod it, bung it in, it'll be close enough. So yeah, they're just talking out of their ass when they're saying we can colour match from photos. I know, because I've sat with colour spectrometers in dark rooms trying to get colours right. Like I say, one film manufacturer has a different idea of how they want the colours to look than another film manufacturer. That's why if you were used in the old days on film stock, if you took photos, portraits like I did in studio, you always used Fuji because it was a warm film for skin tones. But yeah, that's got away from Railway One. Yeah, there was some beautiful old pre-grouping liveries. I love some of them. Lancashire and Yorkshire were very close to BR's freight livery. Except I think it was a white and red stripe rather than a grey and red stripe. Well, yeah, like it was like very similar to BR freight locals, except with Lancashire and Yorkshire lettering and the railway crest. But yeah, there was some nice old pre-grouping logo liveries. Do like some of them. I like some of the LMS, LNER. Southern's nice, but I always thought it was too bright. It was cold sunshine livery for a reason, but I always thought it was too bright yellow and too bright green. I thought, whoa, tone it down. I think something like a lemony yellow on a bit darker green background would be nice, but who am I to argue? Well, the reason is, I suppose, right, Gemini? In the 60s, £5 was a lot of money. I think my sister's first job was £15 a week in the 60s, if I remember rightly. She used to be a female Al Bundy in a shoe shop. But having said that, I think they're edging on a bit. Well, I wouldn't say a bit on the extortionate. I think what it is, that makes them seem expensive by comparison nowadays. They were expensive, then they went down a bit, and then went back up a bit. I'll tell you what, Vallis, someone to keep an eye on is out. I think they're called Outlaw Paints, an Australian company. They're bringing over a paint range to the UK. They're going to be one of the IPMS shows. And I forget which one it is. I think it's possibly Telford. And from what I've seen of them, they're an outstanding paint. And they do a British Railways paint range. And the thing that's good at them, rather than being all the paints you get from paint manufacturers at the moment, barring Tamiya, all the paints from all of them are powder pigments. And Outlaw paints are a liquid pigment. So how it'll go, I think you'll get far less tip drying if you're using airbrushes, because it's liquid rather than pigment. And I've watched it being used, and it's outstanding stuff. Now, they're not going to be cheap, but I've seen them used and they are going to be outstanding. But it's like I've chatted with the people who make them, and the guy that supports them in this country, or one of them, and one of my worries would be supply. Supply and cost, because end of the day, they're on the other side of the world. And you're waiting for them to come over now. What's over at the moment has come over, but it takes so long, because to send them by airmail would cost a fortune. It wouldn't be worth doing. But sending them by sea and container ship, you're waiting months. So it's if they run out of, say, just for example, LMS Crimson Lake, you could be waiting 4 months for a delivery. And it's not guaranteed to be in it then. And your other option is getting them to post it from us, which would cost a fortune. You'd have to make it worth your while and get a large package and a good few colours. But from what I've seen of them, I've been impressed. I mean, the last lot I've got a project coming up. And I wanted, a couple of projects, EWS logos. So I got EWS Burgundy and EWS Green from the Humbrol range. They're acrylics, I'll give them a go. But I'm not someone who swears on, I swear at Humbrol products, I don't swear by them. Like, they used to be good, Humbrol, but when they moved production to China and started wanting to get quality for nothing, life doesn't work out like that. You can sometimes get something decent for not a lot of money, but it really works out like that. I've got to try Phoenix Precision yet. Are they enamels though, valid? For sure, Mick, for sure. Yeah, I have heard about Phoenix, but I get the feeling enamels. Yeah, I won't go back to enamels, valleys. I use acrylics, and if I want to have the benefits enamels used to give me, I've got to shed load of oil paints because I'm an artist. So the slower blend, the enhanced drying time, the slower drying time, the enamels that I give you for blending, I get that from oils, so I'd use oils for it, if anything. Yeah, I know. I don't know whether he was colourblind or I just did it that way to get attention or what, I don't know. But yeah, it amuses me, that one. Improved engine green. But some browns do edge on green, it's a weird thing. For me weathering, I use, in fact, it's the weirdest paint I've ever known. Paint colour. Because it's called brown violet. And it's bloody green, so it's near olive green. So what that one out. Some weird shenanigans going on. But yeah, they used to use that on the, I don't know which other locals they used it on, but I know they used it on the Terriers. I've yet to buy one of them really for my layout. Well, when I've eventually got it going. A little Terrier. Just scrabbling about. He's got a fair run for a little engine. If I got one. It's got a fair old run round. It's about rough guess. By the time it's gone round, a rough guess, it'll be about a 35-foot circuit. Yeah, they are. They're very small valley. They're a nice little loco. I like the Terriers. I'm surprised I've never got one. The smallest one I've ever had was the Dapple L&Y Pug. Well, I had it in BR livery, but it was the Ellen White pug. Like, that is a tiny engine. I don't reckon you get these. Well, you possibly might. But I think it'd be a tricky task getting DCC in one of them pugs. But then I think most of the engines at the back on them takes up most of the cab, the motor in it. Cool. Yeah, you've got some of the Hornby packets. One I want that's on me to get list is I want an Andrew Barclay or one of the, is it Attons that do it? He's one of my favourite locals. Mainly due to when I was a kid, I used to call it up at my local preservation society. Call it up and polish it and stuff. Wipe it over with an oily rag. Yeah, I've got a soft spot for them valleys. They are a nice loco. Plus, as well, if I get a green one, I can do a little bit of altering to it, paintwork wise. Have some decals made, and it's. They used to have one local to me running, and they run it into the 70s. It was a local paper mill, still had their own light railway inside. Like Yates Duxbury paper mill it was in Bury. And they used to shunt stuff to be picked up by British Rail, obviously. But they had their own wagons and everything. So they had YD on the side for Yates Duxbury paper mill. But yeah, they used to bring the raw materials out and ship the paper out. And one of their locals, they had an Andrew Barclay. And to be honest, I think the others were, I think they had two packets as well. But I was making my own packet out of, I'm pretty near finished. I think I'll do that for a video. And I was making my own packet by sewing up a couple of the Hornby 040 pugs. I sawed the saddle tank off one, so it extended it over the firebox. Then I used the chimney off the Holden, and I think I've used the dome on top of the boiler off an Holden. And yeah, it'll look nice once it's done. Give it its nice course of green and line it up, get some decals made. So that'll possibly be part of the video, although most of the building I've done. Yeah, I've used plastic cards, I sawed two or three locos up to make it. Don't get me wrong, they were broken ones already and not pristine, so it doesn't really matter if you bodge something together out of them. Yeah, it's never going to be a spot-on packet as good as Hornby's made, but wouldn't you know it, I was sat there making it and I got nearly 90% finished, call it. And then Hornby decided to bring out their packet. It was one of them moments you sit there and go, son of a bitch. Yeah, they would have done. Like I say, we had two in our locale. Valleys used to work hard. I remember as a kid driving past in my old fella's car, sat him back and popping my head over and watching the steamers running up and down in the grounds. Like I'll have seen the Andrew Barclay running and the Peckett's. It was an impressive thing. Especially if you were up in the hills and you could look down into the valley and see them chugging along. Oh, that's cool. Excellent. Yeah, I popped in the other day having a look at a couple of your videos, Valleys. You've not done one for a bit, have you? Yeah, I seem to remember your last video was quite a bit ago. Yeah, sometimes that's with me. That's why I never commit with me YouTube channel like some. I say for me live, I'm on if I'm on. Videos, they're sporadic, but I'll do as and when I fancy. It's an hobby. I'm not committing to timelines and yeah, I'll have one out every week on a Friday. Nah, sack that for an idea. I'm a working I'm a working geezer. I've got a job, so I just do this as and when. Yeah, no one's upset then if I'm blunt about it. No one's upset if I get a week where I think I really can't be asked. There's some that, like I say, there's some that have thousands of viewers and they commit themselves to the same time every week, and nah, not for me. Some they reckon they're making a fortune off it, but others, yeah, from the it's not that brilliant. Unless you're having millions of hits, you better. Unless you're having millions of hits, you're probably better off going out working. You'd probably spend less time to make the same money and then have your own leisure time or whatever. It's like a lot of people say as well. They say if you're working something like an hobby that you enjoy doing, you'll never work again. It's the biggest load of bullshit anyone will ever tell you. I worked as a freelance photographer back in the 90s, and once I stopped doing it, I hung my cameras up for about 4 years. Didn't want to go near them. It's a load of bull. I spent more time in the dark room and talking to people about what they wanted and printing stuff up, posting stuff out. When I weren't developing them myself and printing them myself, I would go into laboratories. Biggest crock of shit you'll ever hear. If you do something you enjoy, you'll never work again. Bullshit. I've got to be honest, to a degree, I enjoy what I actually work in more than I enjoy my hobbies. I'm one of them that simply wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. If I were getting up in the morning, well, a few times at the moment through staff shortages and stuff, I've woke up in the morning and thought I can't be asked anymore, but once I'm in and having a bit of banter with people I work with and everything, and patience and stuff. It gets better. The hardest thing's getting out of bed in the morning and going there. Yeah, I'd like to see some of your valued videos again, Valid. You did some quite good content from what I've seen. But yeah, time's a big factor, especially if you're working, keeping houses going and families and stuff. It's not the easiest thing. Like I say, it's end of the day, it's an hobby and you've got to enjoy it. And when you start putting too much into it, you start thinking it's getting tedious. Ugh. It's like fishing. Yeah, precisely. Yeah, exactly, Mick. Priorities come first. End of the day, I have to keep a roof over my head and plain and simply, even if I had a lot of subscribers, like loads and loads, it wouldn't pay to keep a roof over my head. Not as much as what I can do it with them, and I'd probably be putting more time into that than I would at work. I only do a 3 day week at work. Granted, it's a 13-hour day, but I only do a 3 day week, so hey, oh. You're watching me now and I'm working out. I've got the other 4 off. The cogs were going round in my head. 3 day week. How many more does that leave to get off? Yeah, and it's pretty good because we have good leave on top of that. I seem to be off on leave more than I'm in work at times. And I'm getting towards the end of the year and I've still got a day I've got to use up. Don't know where I'll fit it in. I thought I had some time off in November or December. Evidently, I don't. Unless I do and I've not noticed it. I usually get the week before and go, oh fuck, I've got a week off. Yeah, so it's good fun trying to think what else I've got coming up lately. I've been getting bits and pieces for me HO American stuff. I think I'll do an American one coming up. I got some of that the other day. Some, I don't know whether you can see it, some chain for the hand in between the handrails at the front and rear. So I can saw the plastic molded chain off and put some real chain between them. Super glue it on. Should make a big difference in looks. I want to make a jig for sewing stanchions for me American locals. I've got a few. I've had the idea of cutting down. I've got a couple of pieces of 1mm, 2mm by 2mm H beam or I beam, whatever you want to call it. and cut that down into lengths and then solder the handrail on top of it. So that should be a fun project. I've got a GP20. I'm going to be doing it in Santa Fe livery. I'm about halfway through the video. That should be a nice video once it's done, because it's one that was absolutely trashed. It has a bad body on it and everything. It looks like somebody used car thinner to try and get paint off, and it looks like it's melted the plastic. Or they used car spray paint on it and it melted the plastic. Something's gone awry somewhere. Anyway, I've used plasticard for the worst affected side, and I've made all the doors separate down the side of the body and stripped all the paints off that were on, repainted it. It still looks rough, but it's better than it was. But I've got to make the handrails on it and decal it next, and then service the motor, and I may well wire head and tail lights into it. Are you going DCC with all your Lima diesels? Yeah, they are for the American stuff, Valleys, because the British stuff isn't so bad. I've got handrail knobs, and the wiring, it's a bit of a pain for my eyesight and my dexterity. But the American stuff, you have to make it from scratch. Because it can be tricky to get hold of, and posting it from the States, which most of it comes from, costs a bomb. Like Smoky Mountain used to make them. Not Smoky Mountain, is it Smoky Valley? It were one or two. Yeah, they are delicate. In plastic, I don't know what it'll be like in metal. What I'm planning doing is either drilling the base plate on it and putting them in with JB Weld and levelling them all up, getting them right, then solder the handrail to the top. I think that's the way I'll go with it. Either that, or I might put them on the side, which is more prototypical. But I might actually sand in a square area and then stick them on there with JB Weld. Not 100% sure how to go about it yet. But one way or another, it should be a nice loco once it's done. For Mick, he'll know who I got it off. I got it off our friend Martin as a freebie when we went out over to a swap meet. When I went up to the Stafford swap meet, he gave us a load of stuff as a freebie. The American loco were one, and I got a shed load of buildings off. I don't know whether anyone remembers it. They did part work for Model Railway. They did a magazine part work, and it were all Model Railway items on it. Anyway, he had loads of the buildings off it built up, and I went, well, I don't really want them, but I said, I'll take them, and I passed them on to an artistic lad. They went, oh, are you sure? I went, well, I got them for nothing. You can have them. Yeah, good way of getting kids interested in a future hobby. Well, they were quite nice buildings, really, because they were plastic moulded, but they were like a kit sort of thing. So you could paint them and make them a lot better than they actually were. But there were all sorts, churches, houses, today, pubs, shops, all sorts. Yeah, so we should enjoy them. I think they've gone on his layout. Lady I give them to for him, she's retired now. She was a cracking person. She was nurse in charge of us. So she were a cracking person. Miss her. It were a privilege. One of them, it were a privilege working for her. She were firm, but she were firm, and she were the same with everyone across the board. Which railroads are they, the ones you've got, Valleys? The Jeep and the SD. Yeah, I've got all sorts of valleys. I've just bought a bicentennial, a Bachman bicentennial U-boat. Oh, cool. Santa Fe war bonnet, I presume. Yeah, CP's nice. Yeah, just lean over here and I might have the odd one myself. That's just outside of me. After a chassis for that presently, a Pennsylvania Railroad U25C. They do a modern one, but it's not worth breaking the body off the chassis on a 200, 300 quid loco to do that one. Yeah, I've got one in other room in the maroon. I've got one of them. It's a nice livery, the old maroon, grey and yellow. Good looking livery. I'm having a rough guess, but was that livery something like the 60s? Maybe possibly the 50s, I don't know. I don't do all the research, I should, I presume. But yeah, they are good lookers. Yeah, I'm like, you know, don't even start on knowing anything about them, Valleys. Just appreciate them for what they are, nice looking liveries and stuff. The amount of American liveries is endless. Companies, liveries, livery types. Oh, it's a minefield. I mean, even that one, I thought that. And it may be a genuine number, but I've looked at all their roster for that loco, and there's other numbers close to that, but there was never a 2605. So whether somebody's just guessed or thought I'll just put any number on, because it's an unpainted livery. But I'll get a chassis for it eventually because the detail on it's lovely. And I'll have to make handrails for that down the side. But it's a nice local, I will be. Oh, God. That's another one. There's quite a few in coach colours, in British stuff. But, geez, when you get onto American liveries, there's loads of them. And some of them, you can be talking about companies that had 2 or 3 locals and really obscure and run obscure routes. And you're like, Jesus. Their entire locomotive roster were 3 locals. In somewhere like the size of the United States is nothing really. Like big companies will have, well, 3 locals in the United States can equal 1 train. That's one thing that never fails to impress me with American stuff. The lengths of the trains, they're unbelievable. That's why they have to have equipment at the side of the line and they monitor axle box heat. Because you'd never see it from where you are in the loco. Right back at the back of the train, you wouldn't even see a hot axle box. But signalmen used to do that job here as a train went past. They'd look at axle boxes and stuff on freight. Oh, yeah, they're unbelievable, aren't they, Valleys? Amazing. It never ceases to amaze me. I like watching videos on YouTube. Do you ever watch the videos of people like just hop aboard and like travel on them? There's people, they just take a bag out and they film their exploits where they travel to. They just grab any train, they hop on any and travel to wherever it's heading. Oh, Pete, you're right. Yeah, there's an old guy that does it and he travels all over the place just stopping on freight cars. Yeah, he's all over the place. Like, it amazes me. There were one young lad, and geez, he's lucky to be here. On one of his videos, you know the container trains they have, the American, they have a special name for them, can't think of it. They use the name here now. But he's walking down the side of one of the containers while the train's going, and he slips down the side of it, and you hear him scream because he goes in between the container and the wagon, and it's open then onto the tracks and wheels. He shit himself. But it's got video of him and he's walking up to the local when he's filming it. It was a Canadian Pacific one who were filming. And he stood on the next one to the loco, filming the loco in the middle. And it's an unmanned loco in the middle because it runs off all the connections through the train. Must be electronic connections and stuff. But yeah, it's an impressive channel to watch. There's an Eastern European guy does it as well. He hops in like stuff like bauxite hoppers and travels up and down the country. But it's dodgy at times because it's overhead railway and he's in an hopper. He has to climb over and into the hopper, and he's got the overhead lines over top of him. Hey, it's fascinating to watch, mate. So they just sat on a car like one of the railroad cars and they filmed the scenery from outside. Beautiful way to travel. I believe you. I've got a couple of New Zealand locals I have to do valleys. In fact, I might drag them out and do them because I have to make handrails for them, but they're not as involved as the American ones. They just do them on the corners near the steps. I think they trust Australians more to walk down it without falling off. You can't say. Either that or Australians are expendable. One of the two. Yeah, but they can. Like, I forget where I've put them to. I forget what line it is now, but it's a New Zealand line. And I've got two of them, and both are different colours. They're made by a company called Friteschi. They make stuff like Brazilian railways as well. American type locomotives, both they do Brazilian companies. Yeah, that's them valleys, Friteschi. That's who made the New Zealand ones. They're bloody expensive now. I got mine for practically nothing off my local preservation society. In fact, I knew the lad who bought them when he went to New Zealand. I knew him in the mid-90s, and I knew him when he went to New Zealand, and he bought them and he offloaded them to Preservation Society. I thought, I'm having them fuckers, the quality. So I went there and got them, and they were practically nothing. They're nice condition, hardly run, and I think they were only about 15, 20 quid each, something stupid. I thought, I ain't missing them for that. I ripped their arm off. See, the thing is, with preservation societies, a lot, they're more interested in the British outline stuff, and if they get something foreign, they're not always 100% sure what they have, because it's usually old guys, and they go, oh, sod it, put it up for 15 quid or whatever. So you can get some bargains. I've got a few American locals off them, because they think, oh, they won't be big sellers, and they're not to a degree, because most people make British outline the biggest. About 99% of the business will be British outline stuff. But there are other modelers that like me, I like them from all around the world. Mainly British I'll be modelling, and in the early 80s for me layout, but I like stuff from all over the world. Some real oddball stuff. My last video I've put up, which is my 100th video, free giveaway, is a Marklin, little German 060. Done it on a plinth with a bit of scenery. Well, let's be honest, some ballasted rail and a bit of static grass. But yeah, it'll be a nice thing for somebody's in somebody's display case if they want it. So far, I've got one guy gone for it. Others are watching, but not bothered in having it. One guy said, What? I had to laugh. It cheers me up really about hobby, he says. It's a lad I'm friends with as well, to be honest. He lives in France over in Dunkirk, and he said, I wouldn't have it anywhere near me collection. Cheered me up, that. I see some of your unboxings, Pete. I do like some of your things where you're unboxing. It's decisions, isn't it? Whatever floats your goat, so to say. It's like, what do I have next? I mean, I've 200. I've got about 20 well-made decisions and about 180. What the hell did I buy that for? But I still keep them. They're not eating anything. Well, there's some nice stuff. I just buy it if it appeals. If it appeals and makes me cheerful for that week, job done. I work hard for money. I want something sure for it. I don't drink, so a lot of the locals I buy are equivalent to one night out. Like, so it's nothing really. Yeah, let's say I spent even 70 quid on a local. That used to only be one night out for me. In fact, today's prices, I'd be looking at over 100 quid for one night out. So really, if you're paying 100 quid for a local, it's one night out. If you pay 200, it's two nights out. I could easily spend that on a day out, mate. Yeah, they're unusual locals. I like them little things. They're unusual. Am I right in saying they're the low slung pannier tanks with cab that's extended further back? Unusual looking thing. I'll keep an eye out for that, Pete. Yeah, you're not kidding. Yeah, that's right. I thought it was. That's the ones, Valleys. Yeah, you're not kidding, Andy. You can double that in some cases if you're going out with a furrer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's it. It's an hobby. It should be fun for you. I'm a bit of a tight ass, though. I don't like spending a lot of money. I mean, the other day, I've not put this one on YouTube yet, but I went down Coventry, swap meet. I had a meet up with my mate, Mick, down there, and I brought that loco back. Dionysus, or however it's said, I don't know what it is. It's the Pullman one. I think it was train set only. A lot on eBay have that for 60, 70 quid. And I saw it for 35 quid and I ripped his arm off. Thought it's a nice loco for 35 quid. Unlike me, I didn't even haggle. You know, something's reasonably cheap when I don't haggle. Can't fault your valleys. Cracking model, the Lima Western. To be honest, if it's weathered, detailed, and put etched plates on, is it honestly really worth the money to upgrade it and buy a new model? I don't get them when they like that. Yeah, exactly, Andy. Exactly. All I did last night was I have a restaurant. I have a cracking Italian restaurant near where I live. In fact, it's more or less my next door neighbour. And all I got were chips and pizzas last night, and you're into 15, 20 quid. It were worth it though. Yeah, exactly. I believe it, Valis. It soon tops up, and if it's a special occasion and you had stuff like champagne and you have nice bloody, what do you call it, desserts, you have a birthday cake, you soon hit a DCC sound local really quick. Fantastic. I'll give it a look. Keep a lookout for that, Pete. I've not had a good, I've not had a really good bargain for ages. Since Mick laughs at me because I put it as I forget exactly what I called it on my channel, but I think it was a big bumper box of shite unboxing. And it was an eBay buy, and nobody got. Sometimes what I look at, there's a lot of them where people don't bite because it's crap photos. And I've had two of my best ever deals off eBay because they couldn't be asked photographing them proper. One I got about, there must have been about 15, 10, 15 American locals. Forget an exact amount of money. And I got them for about 30 quid because nobody else took him up. I thought, I'm not grumbling. Most of them were Athens, so they were quality. Oh, God, Vallis. I'll catch you later, mate. Good to have you up in, mate. As I say, tatty pie, Mick. Great having you along, buddy. Thanks for your support. 99p though, jeez. I never get out like that. Yeah, we'll catch you during week, Mick. God, what did you get in with that lot? Vallis for 99p. I mean, jeez. Even if you get one half decent wagon, you've made your money back. Jeez, unreal. It's cracking, can't fault you, Pete. I like that. What do you call it? Do you remember Did any of you ever buy the Rocket Railways mystery boxes? I think they were about a fiver or a tenner. Something silly like that. It were a mystery box. Most of it was shit. Like half a bridge. What are you going to do with half a bridge? I suppose it's good for scratch building buildings and stuff, but you know, you'd go like that. Yeah, it's big crater triangle. Those aren't fetching what they used to, but for 99p, it's a winner all day long, isn't it? Bloody hell. I have two local clubs to me. One's Bolton, and they're in the local shopping centre in middle of Bolton, and the club has a few various. I've done a video of it, and so's well chuffed as well. I saw them while they were there. We both did videos on same day, and it's a cracking setup, Bolton Club. But for a big balls out layout, the nearest one to me is Rammy Model Railway Club, and they have an extensive layout, and it's actually of the local area during the 50s, and it's knockout. It's a nice layout, particularly because it's local and you can look at it and go, well, they've got that right, they've got that spot on. One guy is even modelled. He's even modelled the local cricket pitch, and he's got all the stripes on the marked out pitch and everything. Really good. Thing is, though, it's aging now and it's getting a bit battered. Yeah. I'm going to have to try one of them Sawyer's bags. Pete. I've seen people get some good stuff in them. Brilliant, brilliant, Andy. Yeah, it's amazing what you can find on. I've never found anything yet on Facebook Marketplace. I've had so many Facebook bans though, sometimes I'm banned off it. I got banned off it. I got banned off a Facebook Marketplace once for making a helpful suggestion to someone. Someone were trying to rent out a flat and they took the photos and it were a mess and they said, we'll be redecorating it and cleaning it out. The photos went up in July and there were still Christmas decorations. Oh, it were a mess and like litter everywhere that the last tenants had left. And I made an helpful suggestion. All I said was, it looks shit, mate. Do the decorating and tidy up, then photograph it and advertise it. Bam. So you can't even help people nowadays. The thing is, he'd have probably got twice as much as what he was asking if he had decorated it and tidied it. Yeah, our Rami Club where I go to, they've got the same fate at the moment. It's affecting the model railway layout because they need a new roof. It's a very old building. I think it's attached to a church or something. Possibly, I don't know. It's one of the old buildings. They have it on a deal sort of thing. It costs them nothing. But it's a cracking layout. Yeah, mine's not on old, it's on. Yeah, I think I'll give it a go. It's nice getting something unusual, Pete. Yeah, something you wouldn't necessarily have bought yourself. Sometimes it's crap, other times it's that'll come in useful or whatever. But that's a nice size, that 20 by 12 foot, Peter. Get a nice layout in that. In fact, get a very nice layout in that. It'd do me down to ground. I've got to fit what I'm doing in 15 foot by 4 foot roughly. So I'll have to see how I do on that because I'm modelling a real location, and there'll have to be a lot of compromises in it, such as compression and stuff. I've got two, both are pretty good in different ways. Like, what do you call it? The Bolton one, they have about 8 different layouts in the unit. And one of the layouts was on TV. You know, when they used to have competitions, two teams went up against each other and they were given a like theme and told to build to it. Jenny Kirk, the one she were involved in, the War of the Worlds, start again, War of the Worlds layout is in the nice little layout, to be honest. That's cracking, that valley. Nice and close. Yeah, I like what they've done on the War of the Worlds one. They used an Airfix 172nd Vosper MTB for Thunderchild. I thought it's not the right sort, but in right like I'd have probably used the 176 Matchbox Flower Glass Corvette, but it'd have took up a lot of space, that. But it's more like a warship than the Vosper MTB were. But you use what you can. It was depicting a story, really, which works fairly well. They'd done a good job of it. Bloody hell, Peter. That's a beautiful size. That's roughly what I could have done with 30 foot to fit mine into scale in double O for the area. And it's only a small section of railway. Surprising how quick you use up the space. I could probably do it more accurately in N, and it has crossed my mind to build the layout in N. Oh, cool. That'll be something different. That'll be something good, Peter. Isn't it just, Andy? It's excellent. Like I say, I'm what? The rough size I'm working with, no, where my old signal box was, is about quarter of a mile bridge to bridge. So 30 foot would have done that. Pretty much to scale 30 foot would have covered it. But I'm running with half the side I need really, so modeller's compression will come. It'll still make a good model, to be honest. It's just things will be closer to each other than they were in reality. And of course, I don't have the full 15 foot because it's 4 foot area I'm working with, and I want it as a continuous run. Like there's going to be 4 tracks going all the way around. I'm going to make it in flexi track so I can pinch millimeters for the curves on the end, and I'll work it out, fit it in one way or another. But the routing of the tracks, it'll be compressed to what it should be. But see what I make. That's it. Half of it's thinking and planning at the moment, and if I can pull it off and stuff. Because it's on a bit of a junction, there's quite a few sets of points to put on and into each other. Yeah, it is. That's a good size as well, valleys. It's just that I have thought in N you can get double the size of area on it, so that would give me the option of more or less to scale for the quarter of a mile. So go figure. I don't. But the thing is, I'm not heavily invested into double O that to get rid of it and to get the stuff I want for making a engaged layout that size, the track, the type of locos I want. It's not going to be cheap. The other option nowadays is TT, but they don't have anywhere near the stock I'd want for running on it. Yeah, exactly, and you know something, a lot of people say, oh, I haven't got size for layouts and stuff, and then you see these people do something really, really presentable in a A4 box file or something, and they're really good. You can look at them. It's the quality you go for in the modelling. Like some people, the buildings are perfect, the scenery's perfect, and they match it. There's a lot of skill in that alone. Like the thing is, you look at some layouts and you think they haven't concentrated on a particular season of the year. and you'll get autumn scenery in with summer scenery in with winter, and it's an higgledy-piggledy match. You've to look how stuff is at one season of the year. I'll catch you later, Peter. Good having you along. Yeah, keep an eye out for when I'm on. I've said tonight I'm sporadic because of my work. I just do it when I feel like it and when I'm not knackered from work. So, yeah, I worked yesterday, but I had a fairly easy second half, so I've not been too knackered today. Well, I have, but not later on. I'd still be like yawning by now if I'd had weekends I normally get sometimes. Yeah, so take care, Pete. Good having you along. Lord Webster. Do you think he's a real lord? I don't know. Be interesting if he were. Oh yeah, some nice stuff out there nowadays, but a lot of it's out of my price range. Like I say, well, that's true, Andy. Yeah, true enough. And Valley's is Lord of his manor, but that's spelt different. Yeah, I've got about, how many is it? I've got about 3 halls I've to do full restorations on eventually. 3 Hornby halls. I've got the name plates for them and name and number plates, and I've bought the linings for them and everything. I just have to strip all paint, do repairs, service, and then redecal and name plate them and everything. I think I'll get a couple of them done this winter. Winter projects, do more involved stuff. Rather than just picking up, mind you, I've got more involved stuff on my bench at the moment. I've got one of the old Triang 262s. I'm going to turn the wheel flanges down so it runs better on modern track. Lovely. 5 castles. Brilliant. 3 manors. Which manors have you got? We used to, it's not been back for years, but we used to have one on our local preserved line. It used to run regular. It was like the station cat at one point. We had the Odney Manor there for ages. It was pretty much running every Sunday at one point, the Odney Manor. Our railway, really, our local preserved line. It surprises me because you think I've never seen one of them there. And then you look it up on photographs. I thought the other week, I've never seen a Great Western pannier at East Lancs Railway. Then you type it in Google Images, search, and there's Loads of photos of Great Western panniers there. Ah, well, must have been. I just didn't see it. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna close it down for tonight in a minute or two. Have a last few minutes, then I can get a bath. Put me washing out I've just washed. Hang it up. Hook Norton, that's a famous one. Garson. Is it Garsington or Grassington? I don't know. And Lidham. Nice little lot, that. Nice little stud of locals, that. Ah, lovely. Nice one. Yeah, I'm renaming some of the Army ones I've got. I've got new nameplates for them. Because Army, half the time, they only put stickers on anyway. I've got a lot of the Isles I bought the proper nameplates for it off Fox Transfers. But they use the full sticker, so I'm going to have to colour match the splasher and paint the splasher, then put the plates on. Oh, and the decal as well, the Great Western crest. I've got the decal for that. Should be nice because it's a nice example, but needs little bits. I bought here a nice example, but it had the copper cap missing off chimney, as Hornby often do, so I sourced one of them, which when I do it up, I'll polish it. I don't really need to do anything on the actual local. It's cracking condition, but it's getting proper plates put on. I've got them for a future project. Actually, that one might come up soon. I keep going, I'm going to do that. Because it's dead easy and it'll make a nice little video. Like single wheeler, just retouch paint with new plates on, service it, and away we go. I might take the magnet out of it because no one does steel track anymore. It's all nickel silver. Yeah, so some nice locals there. Right, I think I'm going to call it a night, fellas. Go and get a brew, have a bath, hang me washing up, and then have a kit for work. Joy and fun again. Another, we bless you, lad, for another shitty day. But yeah, no worries, Alice. Lovely having you along. Great having Andy along too. Nice little lot. Have a quick chat with. I want to do eventually, while we're chatting, doing a model kit on my bench down here. Camera pointed down, but either the camera's not good enough or my lighting's not sufficient. So I bought new lighting and that should improve matters. See if that helps. Because this, it has a delay, and if you're moving, it blurs. So that's no good if I want to show modelling or servicing or whatever. I want it nice and crisp and keeping up with stuff. Anyway, nighty night, chaps. I'm going getting myself a Danny LaRue. And take care during the week, peeps. Here we go. Oh, I think Andy's shy or he's gone or doing something. Oh, he's here. He's here. Yeah, you're welcome, Andy. Good having you along, buddy. Chat to you on next one. Like I say, I never make any promises when I'm on. Just keep your eye out, and I usually put it up day before I go on, so I know what's occurring. And that's it. It's a wrap. That's half an hour, gents. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye.